knuckles tape black, pick my gloves up off the mat.
Welcome back to the shop, guys. So, I was planning on for this video to be that truck, but got a little bit of change of plans. Semi decided it wanted to play bumper cars with us on the interstate while we were borrowing my uncle's trailer. So we're gonna fix it because we've done went round and round with their insurance, and well, they don't want to fess up. They're claiming there's no liability there. So it is what it is. Luckily enough, I know how to fix this kind of stuff, and we have the materials on hand, so it won't cost us anything. Show you guys what this what it did. We'll hop out. As you guys can see, came up from behind us, came over in our lane, merged in, and decided to make a nice serrated knife out of this 5-inch C-channel. Bent it almost completely flush. And I believe some damage may have happened to this bar here, but I think we can fix it. And a couple of the under braces, but I think those are fixable as well. So we'll just cut that out. We've got some extra C-channel from our gooseneck build, and I believe I got some extra L-angle laying around the shop anyways. It's minimal for us, luckily enough. There was no other damage. We got lucky. We got really lucky. Could have been a lot worse that night. So that's going to be the topic of this video, is getting this trailer squared out. That way we can get it back to him. We're also going to add do some upgrades on his lighting. Right now he's got the traditional incandescent bulbs. We're going to upgrade them all to LED 3/4 bullet lights like we did on the gooseneck. And we're going to fix some other things that I don't particularly care for, that I think will work out a lot better for him, and possibly put on Badlands 12,000-pound winch. So with that, we're going to get to it. So what we're going to do is pop at least the first 2 boards out. We'll see how this cross brace right here looks. That'll give us enough room to make sure it's clear. We're cutting all this stuff off as well. We've got our first couple of boards off here, and it is looking like these pieces of C-channel in here are tweaked a little bit. But I think it was like that prior. We might pull these off and twist them back a little bit. There's no fresh paint cracked on them. It looks like it's been that way for a while. There's one piece of the C-channel on the very, very back here. Does have a cracked weld. It's got some fresh rust around it, so we'll probably stop drill that crack real quick and then backfill it with some weld and call it good. But this back one looks fairly decent, and this front one looks pretty decent. This is the one that's bent the most, so that's why I'm thinking that it was probably like that before. But we'll see if we can't get it straightened out. If we can't get it straightened out, I might have some extra of this smaller C-channel in our storage yard. We'll go from there. Next step on this is now we got these boards off, so we're going to see if we can't gouge this plate off, or this back bar off. It's got a bar weld to a plate weld on the back of that C-channel. So we'll run the plasma down the back side of that weld, along all 4 corners, see if we can't get it to pry off. We'll cut the C-channel out here, and then once all that's done, we'll make our cut right along the original weld here. further we're getting into this, I realize I'm gonna have to take this board off, so we're gonna real quick. There it goes. Stubborn screws. We just got to clean up these edges on everything that we cut off. That way everything's nice and smooth and we get our new piece. I'm going to run out to our storage yard, go grab that new piece of metal. All right, we got our new, which it is new, it's just been sitting outside for the last couple months from when we were doing the gooseneck. We'll take this piece right here, we'll line it up where it lines up flat down here, comes up here, meets our angle. We'll mark it out, cut it, slide it in there, and it'll be good. Well, should have flipped that back over flat. That was a mistake. Yeah, don't do that. That could have been bad, really bad. But yep, fingers, no scars in the face. We're good. Could have been worse though. But we got a cut, so you know, there's that. Just totally trashed the blade, but do what it be. Well, let's get this thing back up there. I think we've got our piece here within close enough fitment. It's a little big on the gap, but I think we can weld it in. Part of this affair is pretty much done, guys. We got everything welded in, our new piece cut. Yeah, and it's looking pretty good. So probably wrap it up for the night. Tomorrow we'll come back out. We're gonna add some angle iron to split between the dovetail and the flat part of the deck. Because right now these are just held on by screws, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like to find a way to lock them in. So we're gonna get that figured out tomorrow. We'll start looking at some LED lights to give this thing a little more of an upgrade. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's next evening, guys. We're back in the shop. We're gonna try to get the spots for this corner marker drilled out, and then we've got some other wiring stuff that I've seen. I'm not a huge fan of. There's some Scotch clips in a few places, and then we're gonna swap out all of the LED, all of the incandescent bulbs on this trailer to all LEDs. So let's get this drilled out, and we can throw a coat of primer on this as well. And while primer's tacking up, we'll start on the light project. We'll throw a coat of paint. Hopefully this will be pretty much wrapped up today. Get it. And that's it right there. Nice tight fit. Definitely don't have to worry about those popping out. But get this pushed back out of here. Get all these shavings wiped off of it. And then we'll spray this down with some brake clean. See if we can't get this thing in some primer. First decent coat of primer. We'll let that sit for a little while, let it flash off. Come back, hit it with one more coat, and then we'll throw a couple coats of black on it. But let's go see if we can't start swapping out for these incandescents to some LEDs. So this incandescent style bulb on these trailers are held on by a couple of pop rivets. So you just cut the wire on the back, drill out these 2 rivets, pops right off. And that's what you're left with. What we're gonna do is we're gonna center up with inside of this right here, inside of our old light and our top to bottom. Punch us a hole. We'll come back, clean these holes up real quick, weld them up, grind them flush, throw some paint on it, and move on to the next one. Once we get all of them done, hopefully the paint will be dry as we go, and we'll be able to come back in and pop these things in. All right, we got our metal cleaned up. Put some primer on it real quick. And we'll continue on the daylights. I'm not going to bore you guys with that because that's going to be not a super lengthy process, but you can see me do 2 at this point. No sense making you guys watch the other 4 I got to do. It's good enough for trailer work, as they say. I think our primer's good and set up. We're going to go ahead and throw our first coat of black on here. We'll just repeat that process until we're satisfied with it. I think it's good enough. So, I think we'll bring you guys back once all the paint's done and we're installing lights. You guys can see that or not. There's a bunch of corrosion in there already. It's great for field fixes, but they are terrible for permanent fixes. A lot of moisture gets left in those things because you can't seal them up and your wiring goes to crap. Avoid them at all costs, really. Great for to get you back on the road in the middle of nowhere, but not great to leave on there. Swap it out with some heat shrink butt connectors with solder built into them. These seal up, they got a little gel coating on them as well. Anyway, let's put some heat to them. The ends seal up, waterproof it, solder heats up. Runs it pretty good. Alright, that easy. That solder's already flowed out. Leave that alone, let it cool. Should be good to go. Alright guys, you can see we've got all of our lights wired in. Heat shrink solder butt connectors. We've got our ground tapped in on the some C channel here. So that should give us plenty of years of reliability of this working and keeping a lot of moisture out of the electrical connections there, which is what kills this stuff 90% of the time. So this is what it looks like from the outside here. Let's try to get the truck hooked up and we'll see how this looks. Well, we got our truck pulled in, so I'll show you guys what these lights look like. Well, I think that turned out pretty good, guys. I like the way it looks. It's not over, it's not under, so I think we're gonna roll with this. Let's see what we're gonna do about this winch. I haven't decided on it. I'm gonna mock a couple of templates up, send it over to the uncle, see what he thinks. Maybe we'll be able to get this thing knocked out today. I know I just said we were going to work on the winch, but I think we're going to change it up for a second. Let me get a little while with some creativity to figure out how to mount that thing. So we're going to fall back on fixing this area right here. So the way that this trailer was originally built, it's just kind of sat up here like this. I'm not a fan of that because it puts all the pressure on a couple of screws just holding these boards down. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it just like the way that my trailer is built. We're going to bring a piece of angle iron in here and encapsulate this side and this side along with the back end of this thing, and that'll keep these boards from wanting to jump out no matter what is going on. So, get at it. boo-boo. The gas got turned off and I tried to make it better. Don't ever try to make that better. It always looks worse. So we're gonna cut that off and re-weld it. Well guys, yesterday we had some storms move through. So fortunately, I don't have insulation in the shop, so it gets super loud in here when it starts raining, so I can't film. But while that was going on, we got some L-angle welded up for our fronts and our platforms that we're gonna attach this to, bolt through. And we got our rear done to encapsulate the rear. It's fully welded in, fully painted, and ready to go. So we're just, all that we got left to do is to cut down those where they're gonna fit in between here and slide them in and bolt those tops to the bottoms. Should be good to go. Let's cut some stuff down. Well, alrighty then. As you guys can see, it's gonna be what the finished product's gonna look like. It's kind of tippy-toppy right now, but it's just because the boards are all warped. But we'll put 4 5/16 by 3-inch bolts in each one of these bars. That'll suck them down and clamp these boards down. They shouldn't move like at all. But you guys get an idea what it's gonna look like. Probably not gonna film the drilling through and stuff. That's pretty easy stuff. It's boring stuff as well. But we'll bring you back as soon as it's done with this. We'll give you a good little walk around of the trailer again. And alrighty guys, then we're gonna wind this one up. You can see this video we replaced a piece here that got mangled up by an 18-wheeler. We got some new deck caps in, keep our boards tightened down to the trailer. Not relying on just screws alone anymore. Shouldn't have any problems out of that. Put that one there, and then we encapsulated the back as well. We used 1.5 inch L-angle for these, for both the top and the bottom brackets. And then we used some 1.5 inch by 3 inch. This actually goes all the way down to about here to encapsulate the back. The reason why we went with that wide stuff is because this is true 2-inch deck board. So 1.5 inch stuff wouldn't work, but we could get the weld to it. With that, I think we're gonna call this video done. I know we said we are gonna work on the getting the winch mount done, but I really want to get a video out to you guys. And if I wait for that, it's going to be a couple more days. We're still back and forth on the design and how we want to run it. So instead of waiting even longer, we'll just do a short video on the install on that, along with maybe a little how-to on how to swap these tires out. But guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. Love interacting with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.